now let's move to the evolution of human language. Evolution, right? So in this part, we'll discuss what theories of language origin, right? In which we discuss bow wow, B-O-W, W-O-W, bow wow, pooh pooh, P-W-H, P-W-H, pooh pooh, and ding dong, and you can say that uh, ye ho theory, right? So, or you can say that yo hey ho theory, isn't it? So, that is the first thing, which is known as the theories of language. Second is called as the evolution of language in humans. In that, we discuss that biological and cognitive development. Biological and cognitive development. Then the third one is called as the role of FOXP2, FOXP2 gene in human speech and language. Right. Let's go with the discussion. The first one, the evolution of human language. When you say that the evolution of human language, it is a nothing but an attracting study or fascinating study of how human developed the ability to communicate through, complex structured system. How do you communicate? Right. So when did it start? Right. So which is nothing but called as uh, synchronous to asynchronous, right? Or asynchronous to synchronous. It means writing to spoken and spoken to writing, isn't it? So if you say that what this involves examining theories about its origins, right, and biological and cognitive advancement, and genetic influences like what you can talk about FOXP2, right? FOXP2 what? Now FOXP2 gene, and let's have a discuss in a briefly manner. The first thing is called it when we talk about the evolution of language, right, in which we talk about some of the theories of language that are origin, right? So you can say that what numerous theories, it means number of theories that attempt to explain what how language first came out in humans. While none are surely proven, right? They provide nothing but a possible hypothesis. Hypothesis means something which is only a kind of a possibility or believability, right? So, but not the definite one. The first theory is known as a bow wow theory, BOW, theory. What is that bow wow theory? A bow wow theory suggests what language began as humans limited the sounds of nature, right? Not limited, imitate the sounds of nature. So, such as animal calls, or you talk about environmental noises, isn't it? Second, if you talk about that, um, let's take the example the word buzz, isn't it? BUSS for a bee or a moo for a cow, isn't it? So, could have originated this way. So that's what you find out. What the humans imitated the sounds in human, sorry, the sounds of nature, isn't it? Now, in that case, when we talk about the bird sound or the moo sound of the bee or the cows that have originated in the same manner. So, limitation, if you talk about that, only explains a small subset of words and doesn't account for abstract terms. Now you find out that means if you talk about cow and bee, they have a limited, isn't it? They do not produce or present some kind of a unlimited or called as a huge, right? So that is why we call it a bow wow theory. What is that bow wow theory? The human sounds uh, imitated nothing but the nature sound, right? And when you talk about the nature sound, you talk about animals, they have a limited sounds, right? So the next one is called the pooh pooh theory. What is that pooh pooh theory? PWH, pooh pooh theory. Now that language or it proposes that language originated from instinctive exclamation caused by emotions or reaction, such as pain, surprise, or joy. Right? Examples like or sounds like you can say ouch, right? O or A, isn't it? So in that case, you talk about what? You talk about these exclamation sounds are known as nothing but a poo sound, right? Even you find out that limitation is what now lacks explanation for structure, grammar, and complex sentences, right or not? So if you talk about bow wow, if you talk about poo, so what do you find out in bow wow? We find out nothing but the sound that doesn't explain everything, limited in information. If you talk about poo theory, you find out emotion, surprise, or called as joy, pain, all such kind of things. So this also lacks explanation for structured grammar and complex sentences, isn't it? So, but when you talk about next one, ding dong theory, ding dong theory, what is that? Now, this suggests there is a natural resonance. Natural resonance means natural understanding between what sounds and their meaning. Sounds and their meaning. And it implies an inherent link between what? Words and objects. Isn't it? So let's take the example the word sharp. The word sharp. That might reflect the quality of sharpness. Right. So due to its a crisp sound, sharp. So in that case, means in ding dong theory, it suggests that what now when you talk about the word, it produces the sounds and their meanings, isn't it? So, like the example sap is taken. Similar, but limitation is what most words in human language are arbitrary. Most words in human language are arbitrary. So, if you find out sharp, which is nothing but and you understood on the basis of the this sound, it is nothing but a sharpness, right? But at the same time, human language are arbitrary, contradicting this theory, right? Maybe sharp in the sense is called as a sharpness because of its a crisp theory, but sharp means could be odd. Sharp means could be strong smell, isn't it? So that is what because human language is arbitrary in nature. Arbitrary means called as autocratic in nature, isn't it? Now the fourth one is called as ye he. Sorry, yo he ho theory. Yo he ho theory. Y e ye. Sorry, y o yo he h e he and yo yo he ho. Sorry, yo he ho. Yo he ho. Isn't it? Y o h e h o. Yo a O theory. What is that Yo a O theory? Now you can say that means this theory argues that nothing but a language change. Language change from the rhythmic sounds humans made while for you can say that what coordinating with the physical activities. Like sometimes while you're speaking, your hands also move, your body also moves, and you also means, make a kind of a, some kind of a physical activities like lifting heavy objects or rowing. Lifting heavy objects or rowing. So let's say that in the early communal chants or rhythmic walk song, right? Early communal chants or rhythmic walk songs. So this is something. So, but here also you would find out in this kind of a theory, limitation is provided that it doesn't account for abstract and symbolic aspects of language, right? So it doesn't produce what abstract. Abstract means imaginary and symbolic aspects of language, isn't it? Now, these theory highlight what different aspects of how humans might have developed. You can say that bow wow theory, or you talk about yo hey ho theory, right? Or you talk about ding dong theory, isn't it? So these theories highlight what different aspects of how humans might have developed speech, but these all theory not fully explain the difficulties of modern language, right? Difficulties of modern language. Then next you would find out evolution of language in human evolution of language in humans. What are the evolutions of language in humans? That called is biological and cognitive, right? Cognitive development. Now, when you say that language evolved evolution, Language evolution is closely tied to what? Advancement in human biology and cognition. Right. Now, what is biological development? When you say that biological development, you talk about vocal anatomy, right? Vocal anatomy. So, these changes in the vocal tract and allowed nothing but the humans to produce a wide range of sounds, isn't it? Now, look into the sound of the baby, the sound of the school going children, the sound of the adult, the sound of the middle age, the sound of the old man, isn't it? You would find out there is a difference, isn't it? So, in that case, the vocal tract allowed humans to produce a wide range of sounds, right? The lowering of larynx, the lowering of larynx in humans compared to other primates means other animals, increased vocal flexibility. Vocal flexibility means called as that allows the human being to produce variety of sounds, but also introduced what risk like choking. You would find out that if a human being can produce variety of sounds and also flexibility in their vocal part, so they also introduce risk, right? So at the same time, when risk development, at the same time, the human brains are also developed, brain developed. If you say that the ability to understand the others, right? The ability to understand that others have thoughts, others have beliefs, and others have desire. This was essential for developing what? Developing meaningful communication, right or not? So that is called as a nothing but when we talk about brain development refers to the growth of specific areas, right? Growth of specific areas like you can say Broca's area, Broca's area, and you can talk about Wernicke's area. Uh, so facilitated language processing and production, right? Broca's area and Wernicke's area. So they help us what they facilitated language processing and production. When you talk about brain development, isn't it? So, and these areas are linked to what? These areas are linked to grammar, syntax, and understanding, right? So, this is nothing but indicating to the brain development. But the next one is also called as a cognitive development. When we talk about cognitive development, we talk about you can say theory of mind, right? Theory of mind, symbolic meaning or symbolic thinking, and social cooperation. So three things are there which are realizing that what cognitive development is also highly important, isn't it? When we say that cognitive development, we talk about think theory of mind. When we say theory of mind, we can understand the ability to understand that others are thoughts, beliefs, and desires, right? And this was essential for developing what meaningful communication. So that is known as what cognitive development. What the other one says, I hear it, I understand that, right? I feel means, and also I accept, and my wishes are fulfilled. In that case, theory of mind, which is nothing but indicating that human being have the cognitive development. Now, nobody tells the child to means walk, but the child takes the help of the wall and tries to walk, isn't it? So that is what nothing but a theory of mind, isn't it? The next one you can point out is called as symbolic thinking. So cognitive thinking, where we talk about theory of mind. Second, it's called as a symbolic thinking. When we say that symbolic thinking, it means we talk about the capacity. The capacity of what? Associate arbitrary symbols. What kind of a symbols? Arbitrary symbols. What do you mean by arbitrary symbols? That called as authoritative. The symbols which justifies only one particular meaning. Right. The capacity to associate arbitrary symbols with objects or concepts that help us the use of words and grammar. Isn't it? Let's say that if I put one line and under that line I put a full stop, you will consider it what? It is an exclamation mark, exclamatory mark, isn't it? If I make a kind of a means, bending one, so and full stop below that, you will consider it's a question, isn't it? That's nothing but called as arbitrariness, right? You have a symbol, and that symbol indicates question, that symbol indicates exclamatory, that symbol indicates full stop, that symbol indicates a hyphen, dash, right? Everything. So that's called as a symbolic thinking, right? So next one is called as a social cooperation. When we say that social cooperation, like language likely evolved or changed as humans engaged in what? Increasingly complex social interaction. Right. So, and they require nothing but a better coordination and communication. So, you would find out social cooperation is indicating that humans are engaged in a complex social interaction. It means if I speak certain language in English, you will understand that, isn't it? And we do also sometimes interact in English to English, right? And that makes nothing but a better coordination between you and me, right? And also communication. Got my point? So that's what you would find out. What that's called as a biological development. Second is called as a cognitive development, and now we will go for the next one. That's called as the role of the FOXP2, right? So the role of the FOXP2 gene in human speech and language. Now, when you say that the FOXP2 gene is often called as what? Language. The FOXP2 is often called what? Language. Isn't it? Why? Now, because of its critical role in speech and language development. Speech and language development, FOXP2, right? So, gene is often nothing but called as a play the critical role, right? So, what is a FOXP2? Now, if you say that FOXP2 is a gene, right? It is a gene. So found in humans and other species too, right? But a specific changes in humans is believed to have cleared, enhanced, or capacity for language. Isn't it? Got my point. So, and if you talk about some of the researchers or scientists like K family study, right? So a family with a FOXP2 mutation experience severe speech and language impairment. So you find out that some children unable to speak, right? Some children who have a language impairment, dyslexia, we call it. So confusion among the words, confusion among the letters. They do not know how to put the T and how to put the J, right? So that's known as a language impairment, right? So, and it provides evidence of its role in language development, isn't it? And that tells the other that what they need to develop their language skills, isn't it? Now, if you talk about that comparative studies, we find out that the human version human version of FOXP2, right, differs slightly from that of chimpanzee, and this difference is thought to have enabled more advanced vocalization and communication in humans. If you talk about that comparative studies, we find out that human being can talk and animals can also produce sounds. But at the same time, if you talk about that human beings have nothing but slightly different from the chimpanzee, right? So, and that indicates human being, enabled more advanced vocalization and communication than in chimpanzee or other animals. So, the importance of FOXP2 doesn't create language, but it provides nothing but the neural infrastructure necessary for what learning and also producing it, isn't it? And this FOXP2 gene interacts or connected with the what other cognitive and social factor to facilitate language. It helps the other people to facilitate or give information to language, isn't it? So at last you would say that what the evolution of a language is nothing but a result of multiple factors. So including theories of origin, bow wow, po po, ding dong, yo hey ho, right? So you also find out that biological and cognitive advancement, when we talk about biological and cognitive advancement, and genetic influences like the FOXP2 gene, right? Together, these elements do nothing but shape the humans' ability to develop develop complex, abstract, and surely infinitely creative communication system, right? And that does nothing but that setting us apart from other species, isn't it?